You wake up, and before the day has even started, a physical weight presses down on you. You try to sleep it off, but hours of rest do nothing to clear this specific kind of exhaustion. Then the other sensations arrive. A low, continuous hum of anxiety vibrates in your chest. You find yourself crying for reasons you can't name, overwhelmed by a deep grief, even though nothing in your life has visibly changed. Our first instinct is to search for a logical, temporary cause. We blame a stressful week at work or a passing phase, assuming that if we just push through, we will eventually return to the person we remember being. But the feeling remains. When the temporary fixes fail, the discomfort turns into a deep-seated fear. You begin to believe that you have become unable to do what healthy, capable people are supposed to do. Society has a very rigid expectation for what it means to be well. You are expected to be consistently productive, emotionally predictable, and capable of handling pressure without visible disruption. We tend to treat the human body like a piece of industrial machinery. When we can no longer maintain our usual pace, we assume the mechanism itself is failing. This is where self-pathologizing begins. A temporary experience of distress becomes a permanent conclusion about identity. Instead of recognizing that you are moving through a period of depression, you begin to believe that being depressed is who you are. There is another possibility to consider before that verdict becomes permanent. Your body might be successfully refusing to participate in a life, a relationship, or a worldview that is no longer sustainable. This is the difference between pathology and passage. Pathology is a breakdown that requires repair, so you can return to the old normal. A passage is a threshold where your identity is being reorganized. It is the process of breaking through a way of living that you have already outgrown. From the outside, a profound existential awakening and a psychological breakdown look almost identical. Both experiences rely on the same biological hardware. Spiritual transformations and psychological distress are processed through the exact same human nervous system, often producing the same spikes in energy or withdrawals into silence. Psychologists often use the term spiritual emergency to describe this overlap. It happens when a rapid shift in meaning and perception moves faster than the body's ability to integrate it. Intense psychological symptoms are often the physical mechanics of this transition. The psyche is struggling to build a new structure for your life, while the old one is still coming apart. This steep drop shows the moment your old fuel sources finally run dry. For years, you might have moved through the world using people-pleasing, fear, or perfectionism to keep going. That energy is effective, but high cost, and eventually, the body stops accepting payment. In this wide gap, the liminal space, anxiety is a predictable response to a total loss of structure. You are standing between a life you've outgrown and one you haven't yet built, and your nervous system is registering that lack of safety. At the same time, your senses become more permeable. Lights feel harsher, and the emotions of other people feel intrusive, because the brain is dropping the survival filters that used to keep the world at a distance. This transition functions as a psychic strike. Your body is withholding its energy to prevent you from continuing as a version of yourself that no longer exists. This leaves you dealing with a grief that has no funeral. You are mourning the loss of a worldview and a former identity, while your outward life still appears intact. Human biology evolved to handle local, immediate threats. But today, our nervous systems are flooded with news of global instability and ecological loss. We are receiving more information than our bodies were built to metabolize. For sensitive people, these global stressors don't stay at the level of information. They become physical atmosphere. You are registering the instability of a world that is moving faster than the rhythms of human biology. Your private distress acts as a record of this external reality. You are experiencing the strain of living through a collective shift, where old ways of living no longer appear capable of carrying us forward. There is a danger in romanticizing all pain. An awakening that makes us contemptuous of our human vulnerability is not leading toward wholeness. Certain red flags require immediate medical intervention. A loss of contact with shared reality, thoughts of self-harm, or an inability to care for your basic needs are signs that the passage has become a crisis requiring professional support. The presence of a medical or psychological explanation does not remove the meaning from your experience. You do not have to choose between being cared for and being understood. Seeking therapy or medication is not a spiritual failure. Often, this support provides the exact stabilization necessary to survive the transformation you are undergoing. The goal of this dual lens is discernment. It allows you to respect the biological reality of your symptoms, while remaining open to the possibility that they are also communicating a need for change. This framework prevents you from rushing to hand down a final, permanent verdict on who you are. It acknowledges the suffering without declaring the person carrying it to be defective. Integration means learning to inhabit your body differently. It is the process of allowing the new self to take shape without forcing it to meet the demands of the life you left behind. When you feel like you are falling apart, you might actually be undergoing the necessary, painful mechanics of becoming who you were meant to be.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Maybe It's Awakening: Why Transformation Can Feel Like Anxiety, Depression, Exhaustion, and Losing the Life You Once Knew. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.